Hi, I'm Jack Etzel, and in the next few minutes we're going to be showing you how just about anybody can install a secure, energy-efficient, ready-to-set glass block window, the fastest growing basement windows in the industry. First, the benefits. These thick, break-resistant glass block windows ensure that you and your family will be warm, safe, and secure. They're tough and almost impenetrable. In addition, you'll save money on your heating and cooling bills. Ready-to-set glass block windows insulate your home for energy efficiency in both summer and winter. Once the glass blocks are installed, any old drafts will be eliminated. Plus, they're attractive, letting in plenty of light while affording a high degree of privacy. They're also low maintenance. You never have to paint them, there's nothing to rot or to rust. Ready-to-set glass block windows come in a variety of styles and can be made to fit practically any opening. The benefits are tremendous. Fresh air ventilators can be built into any size window to provide ventilation wherever you need it. Now, with these vinyl air vents, you control when and how much air circulates. You can also get a glass block window with an opening for your clothes dryer vent. Just bring your window measurements into your local ready-to-set glass block window supplier. Standard sizes are in stock. Others can be specially made to order within a few weeks. And keep in mind, these windows are not just for basements. Any ground-to-level or vulnerable window is a good candidate for glass block. Ready-to-set windows are waterproof and are excellent in high-moisture areas like bathrooms and kitchens. They can also be used to build counters, showers, even wall partitions. You really are only limited by your imagination. During this informative video, you'll see the tools you'll need, how to measure the window opening, how to remove the frame and prepare the opening, how to mix the mortar, and how to set and secure the window. We'll also look at how to install large windows made of 2 or more sections. Now let's look at an actual installation. Today, we're going to be installing this ready-to-set window into that opening, and we're going to need the following tools: a hammer, a wrecking bar, a bucket and trowel to mix the mortar, wedges, and a level to set and align the window, a grout bag to mortar the window into place, and a clean rag or sponge to clean up, and of course a tape measure to get a proper measurement. While I tell you what's going on, my friend Bill here is actually going to do the installation, beginning with measuring the width of the foundation opening, always looking for the narrowest point if the sides are uneven. He's measuring it as if the window and its frame were already removed, and the height is taken from under the lintel to the top of the foundation. It's a good idea to use a hammer and small chisel or an old screwdriver to test a corner of this sill filler to see if it'll come out. As you can see, this one will. Be sure to measure all the windows you plan to replace, even though they may look identical. And then once you have the measurements, take them to your ready-to-set glass block window supplier. You'll find they're very durable when properly stored and handled. Just remember to pick them up from opposite corners and always store and transport them standing up. Now we're ready to remove the old window. First, take out the sash, which is the movable part of the window. It usually slips out pretty easily. Next, bend out the frame. Metal frames like these are anchored on the sides, so bend the top down and the bottom up to free the frame. Use wooden blocks to avoid damage to the building while prying. By the way, wood frames are removed the same way, except in the case of wood, you want to saw through the top and the bottom before using the wrecking bar to break them free. Now we'll just knock off this mortar filler and the opening is ready for a ready-to-set glass block window. And now it's time to mix the mortar. We'll be using a white pre-mixed glass block mortar, which is a high-strength masonry cement. Other types of mortar mixes can be used, but I recommend the glass block mortar for its water resistance and strength. Add the water slowly when mixing the mortar so it doesn't get too wet. You're looking for the consistency of cookie dough. This isn't really necessary, but I sort of suggest you protect the surrounding masonry with some wide masking tape so the mortar doesn't stain any of the brick. Well, Bill's got the mortar mixed, so I think we're ready to set this window. First, we'll trowel down about a ½ inch of mortar across the sill. Smooth it out. Then place a few wedges on the sill. These wedges will help you level the window and hold it in place while the mortar sets. Set the glass block window on top of the wedges and tilt it into place. And it's a good idea to have somebody on the inside to steady the window while you're securing it so it doesn't fall through. Check it for level. If necessary, raise or lower one side of the window using the pry bar and adjust the wedge. Now check it for plumb. Tilt the top in or out as needed and then snug the wedges. Once your window is level and plumb, place a final wedge at the top, directly above one of the wedges at the sill to secure the window. Now we can finish mortaring our ready-to-set glass block window into place. Run your trowel through the mortar a few times to make it pliable. Load a few trowels full into the grout bag. Fold the top over a couple of times. Slip the tip into the space between the window and foundation and squeeze, just like icing a cake. Continue to force that mortar all around the entire perimeter of the window. Use the trowel to smooth the mortar. Make sure there are no voids. Now, let the mortar set for about a half an hour. There's a common question, by the way, that says, why can't someone just come along and kick out this window? Well, as I mentioned earlier, the mortar is a high-strength masonry cement that when it's set up will hold that window as securely as these bricks are held in place. And you're not likely to come along and kick one of those out. Now, had this been a much larger opening, we would have had to install a ready-to-set glass block window in 2 or more sections. Let's take a look at how that's done. First, measure the prepared opening. Then measure the glass block window. Be sure to add 1/4 of an inch for each joint between the sections. This will help you determine how large the perimeter mortar joint should be so you know where to place the first section. Set that first section just as we did with the basement window, mortaring the sections securely on 3 sides. Now, if the sections are going to be side by side, use the exact same method to set each subsequent window section. Use your pry bar and wedges to align the horizontal mortar joints. Now, if you'll be stacking the sections on top of one another, prepare some glass block spacers into a T-shape by removing one of the legs. Place those spacers at the edges where the sections will come together. These spacers will give you an accurate horizontal mortar joint while helping you to align the vertical joints. Pack mortar all around the perimeter of the window and between the sections. When the mortar begins to set, tool the joints between the window sections and the rest finishes just like the basement window we are working on. In fact, let's go back and see how that's coming. Well, the mortar's been setting up now for about a half an hour, and it's time to pull out those wedges and fill in the holes. Use the trowel to force mortar into the holes and make sure they're packed full. Then just smooth out all around the window. With a wet rag or sponge, remove all the excess mortar. Be sure to rinse the rag often. And when the window surface dries, there may be a white film. That'll come off with a damp sponge or a paper towel. Hey, Bill, that looks pretty good. It only took a couple of hours. If you have any more questions, contact your ready-to-set glass block window dealer. They're really not that tough to install. It only takes a few tools. You measure the rough opening. Remove the existing frame. Prepare the opening. Mix the mortar. Set the window. Mortar it into place. Finish it off and clean it up. What could be easier? Now you know why they call them ready to set.